Hey, good evening, Lorna. How you doing? Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, SYLBOURNE here. I want to wish you a wonderful evening. Hope you're well on a lovely Sunday evening. Playing some nice music in the background there. Passion Fruit by Drake. Don't know if you guys know it. Love Drake. Yeah, I like Drake. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And I always hope that Facebook have sense and will not penalize me for actually playing Drake. I think they should be taking down lots of videos who have breached certain things, certain code of conduct, than to take down persons who are just having a nice little background track to start the day. Yeah. It's 10 o'clock UK time. I think it's 5 o'clock. Lorna Robinson, who is Drake? Oh wow, what can I say to you? Who is Drake? Drake is an artist out of Canada. I think you may be jiving me still at the same time. But just Google Drake and you'll find out who is Drake. You know? But I just want to really come on tonight and just do the part 2 of the discussion which I had the other night. Just last night, in regards to the different organizations which are out there. Well, at the same time, what I'm doing, I'm just setting it up on Instagram as well, and for different persons to tap in as well. At the same time, if you know of any organizations which are out there, which I may not know, just inbox me as well, or just put it out there, and we'll feed them into the whole frame of things. I believe there are many solutions which are out there. Hey Dean, buddy, how you doing? Yeah, let's take control, man. Let me see how to do this now. Just enjoy the music in the meantime. We're going big, ladies and gentlemen. There's so much potential when you got a will and a desire to make changes. You can make things happen today, not tomorrow, but today. Yep. There are many living testimonies out there of persons. Korishi, how are you doing? Are you good? That's awesome. And you know, the other thing as well, I've not been speaking about other things in the news these last days. I've not been speaking about Brexit. I've not been speaking about Syria. I mean, you heard about the nerve gas. Got to make sure that one sort of stay focused on the news that you want to stay focused on. It's very important that one stays focused on the news that one wants to stay focused on, or you'll be distracted and go into different news, which maybe is not your relevance. So what we do, we focus on the news which is very important for us, you know. Well, my topic is simply about the same supporting of all the organizations which are out there, which somehow can assist the community in regards to the rise of crime. You know, Origin run by Pablo. Dean, I've got Origin. I mentioned Origin last night. Origin Rights, is that it? Origin Rights of Passage Program for Boys. I think I did that one last night. I did 10 First one was 100 Black Men of London registered charity. Amos Bursary, which I did last night. Generating Genius. The Goodwin Lawson Foundation. The Sickle Cell Society. The Stephen Lawrence Charitable Trust. The Urban Synergy. Yeah. Mention that one. The Reach Madhunt Academy. And Origin Rites of Passage, which was the last one which I did last night. Mark Prince, Kian Prince Foundation, of a number of events that will be announced soon. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I got Dean Accoy. Hey Dean, would you want to come on at some point later? Let me know if you want to come on, if anything. That'd be great. Keeping that collaboration going powerfully as well. But I think since the there's two things. There's been a voicemail which has been going around. I don't know if you have heard a voicemail going around about a particular boy which has been, they said, was found in the River Thames. So that has been going around, and with a voicemail which has been going around via WhatsApp. Apparently, it is now confirmed. Apparently, that maybe, or it is possible that this person, it happened, and there's a picture which is going around, and all I can say again is, my condolences to the family members who have been grieving. Family members who are grieving for the various boys, Tanisha, who have been killed in the past few days. Right? One can only give and hope that they rest in peace, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So all I'm saying is that there are different things which are happening out there. The government has put out extra troops over the weekend. I've not heard of any stabbings this weekend, so that is good. I've not heard of anything. I mean, things could have. I remember years ago when I used to work in Hackney, and I think someone said to me once, I think there was some spate of shootings or whatever like that in Hackney, and I believe someone said to me, what you don't know is that you don't get many of the information in the mainstream which is happening. Yeah, shooting was there last night and stuff like that. Somebody got stabbed, blah, blah, blah. The person was saying. And therefore, that information wasn't out there on mainstream. And that's one of the reasons why I say one has got to be careful of narratives to a certain extent. The narrative of pushing a particular agenda or putting a particular message out there to say black boys, black and black, and everything like that. And the news media is just sweeping it, and in a way, in the subconscious, you will think that is what is out there, that is what is happening, and if you and you've got to be so very shrewd, because if you're not careful, you'll miss out on many other things which is happening out there. You'll see that there's issues with Syria. You'll see issues with so many other things are in the news out there. I mean, I'm just looking at some of them here. And if you're not careful, one can be quarantined into a particular zone or particular subliminal area whereby this is all which is out there. And then one failed to remember and failed to acknowledge the fact that many fantastic young people are out there, fantastic young people who are doing fantastic things, who are on the top of the game. Some are homeschooled and everything like that, top of the game. I would say 75 to 80%, or maybe even 90% of young black children are being successful at the same time. That doesn't withstand the fact that if one goes down or if one is killed, that is one too much, one too many. You know, if there's one shot being fired, one shot too far, one shot too many. If there's one stab too far, one stab too many. So one is not belittling anything at the same time. Definitely not belittling anything, but one is actually making sure that one takes charge of the narratives. I mentioned about the whole issue with the 78-year-old pensioner who actually stabbed the burglar with a screwdriver, and the fact that it is in my area, and the fact that I'm a neighborhood watch coordinator, one of the head of neighborhood watch body inside here, and the fact that we had to somehow sort of ensure that the news generate a particular thing, make sure they say a certain thing, or there was some narrative which was making it look as if it was what it wasn't. So we had to actually take charge of that. I had to just do my Facebook Live as well and make sure that I get it in the papers, certain particular narratives. So it's very important that we actually change the tone. And that's one of the reasons why I actually, we can't come to be 3 minutes story, 30-second sound, bless that Dean. Exactly. And that's what Dean says. When you see these things come on the news, what you normally see is a 3-minute clip. I think, Dean, that is even too much, man. These 3-minute clip. I think it's a 1-minute clip sometime. And you jump in and jump out, and then BBC or ITV or Channel 5 said your taxi's outside, they're waiting for you. That's what it is. You go there, you travel from far sometimes and that's why I stopped doing these things. I stopped going on these programs. When they call me to go on these programs sometime, I try to find the angle that they want to do. You go there, you spend, you travel down there. Of course, they send taxis for you most of the time, and you travel down there, and then you spend like 5 minutes, 3 minutes sometime looking in the space and just actually, in a way, the answer is already out there, what they want, and you're just actually rubber stamping it for the sake of being on TV. So I say I change the narrative, change the game, change the focus as well, and say let me be let my platform be an empowering platform that will actually invite persons to understand what is happening. You know, many years ago. And I'm just talking before I set the tone. But you'll understand where I'm coming. Many years ago, I think there was a major event at somewhere in near Marble Arch, Houston, Friend's House. It was a Friend's House. I think it was Jesse Jackson. Yes, it was Jesse Jackson. It was organized by Lee Jasper and OBV and few organizations and stuff like that. And they put on this massive event with Jesse Jackson. I think it was Al Sharp. No, it was Jesse Jackson, yes. So many people actually came to listen to Jesse Jackson. And but before Jesse Jackson came on, there was a raft of different organizations, a black organization, which was up there. And I think they started talking about all the different things that they're doing, which is good, which is wonderful. And but most people came to actually hear Jesse Jackson. And I think around 10 o'clock or 10:30 or so, Jesse Jackson was put on to speak, and a lot of people started to go home because, of course, childcare and family, people have babysitters and all those sort of things. This is a real world, so people start to leave out to a certain extent. And I remember I said to Lee Jasper, I said, Lee, what we need to do, Lee, is to have some sort of functions at different times, and these functions will be one whereby it is for a display of the economics. Yes, I think it was economics, something like that. Yeah. Somebody on Instagram just reminded me. And I said, what we should do is to somehow have an event, if quarterly or so, or every 2 months or so, whereby you have a raft of different organizations and the community to come together and let me know what they're doing and empowering them as much as possible. And that hasn't really happened. Because most times what happened is that you find, as Dean mentioned, a sort of reactionary things when things start to happen. There's not a proactive approach like planning to actually deal with it, Yeah. Okay, I was the origin in Stockholm when Jesse Jackson came. Okay, yeah, Dean. I think it was maybe another one, Dean. I think it was another one. Oh no, he could have been there at that time, but it was a night event it was a night event in Friend's House. Yeah, so, I think when these guys come over, they do a different one, but there's a major one at the Friend's House in Houston. But the point I'm trying to say here is this. Just like an organization which has been developed, Road CEO with gangs, GANGS, setting up a sort of structure in a way to be proactive and to be on top of the game and not to be reactive. Because what you're seeing is a lot of reaction. What is the Prime Minister saying? What is this the Commissioner of Police saying? Is it a crisis or not? What is the mayor saying? Where is the mayor? Has he met with the families? Have you met with the families? It's all reactionary to a certain extent. What are people saying? We need to reclaim our streets and whatever like that. And I always talk about that. It is very important that one build up one's economic clout. One builds up one political clout, a cultural clout, the social clout as much as possible. But those building up of that process takes a while and takes a season. So therefore, even when things sometimes is quelled, when things are quelled, sometimes when things start to, everything is sort of cool now, everybody, wow, finally we can start to get back. No, that's the time to step up the tempo. That's the time to actually get busy. That's the time to actually get focused in ensuring that it is captured. The banks are established, as Mr. Okoye would say, and is strengthening the game. Janet Spence, how are you? Paul Brown. I thought it was Paula Brown. Hey, Paul, how are you doing? So last night I did a program which was called the Solution 2. And I put a Solution 2 because I'm not going to go around talking about what is the problem. I'm just going to look at how one can be a part of a solution. I know people will say, yes, we got to deal with the problem first. But you see, I think that has been exhausted over the years. I think that has been talked about a lot, and it has been going around and around and around and around and around. And I said, I'm not going to be a part of this talking shop, even though talking is important because that's what I'm doing. Talking is crucial. You got to engage, you got to communicate, you got to build as much as possible. So I dealt with a list of organizations which I received through the network which I'm a part of, and more is going to be added to it. And all I'm doing is just giving a sort of example or some of the organizations which are out there. What I hope to do, what I will be doing is over the next 2 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever weeks, we'll be having slots whereby persons who are representative of these organizations will come online, and when they come online, they can talk about what they're doing. We can have a discussion. I'll ask questions or so. People can ask them questions as to what they're doing, how can they be supported, how can people do things, and what they're doing to help families out there. There was a lady there's an email, which is a Facebook message, which is going around today, and I responded on it with just the same list, saying this mother has 2 sons, and the 2 sons are in different gangs. And the gangs apparently are beef with each other. And, so unfortunately, it could be a situation whereby her 2 sons will have conflict. And chances are, you don't know how it may turn out. So you can imagine the calamity and the pressure she's particularly under. There's another mother who actually responded on thread and said, if it wasn't for her son being arrested and be locked up, she wouldn't have that peace, because at least he's taken out of the equation because she saw where he was going to be headed, So it's a deep thing out there, and not many of us understand some of it because we have not actually been there, down there, understand some of it. But I believe that we can always do one thing, and that's why the first thing which I spoke about as one of the solution one a few days ago was simply about the neighborhood watch. I just simply talk about neighborhood watch, and sometimes it's so simple, but it's very powerful, where people reclaim their streets. Because I thought about that because I saw a few demonstrations, and what they were saying was, whose street? Our streets, and we will take care of our streets. Something of that narrative there. Whose street? Our street. We take care of the street. And it's the same thing as a neighborhood watch. I'm the chair of a neighborhood watch. Of course, we take control of our streets. We get to know our neighbors, get to know the children on the street, the young people on the street. So therefore, if somebody, and I use this as a classic example, this has never happened yet, and I don't want it to happen, but if someone is walking on my street, and maybe there's somebody walking behind them, it could be even just a stranger walking behind them, but they somewhat don't feel safe about it, they can actually come and knock on my door, and I'll say, hey, how are you, Mary or Jane or Mike or whatever like that. Say, listen, I think somebody's walking behind me. Can I come in? Say, yeah, come in. And we just monitor the thing and call the police. And then what we do, we have a major network thing with Messenger and WhatsApp and whatever, then we just send a message through and say, guys, be alert or blah, blah, blah. And in that way, what you're doing, you're having a responsibility for your neighbors as well. And as I said, which was replicated in news all over, where I said a man's home is his castle and his neighborhood is his domain or his kingdom. When I say the kingdom, it's not a literal kingdom, but it's simply saying that you take control. You actually want to be a part of the process. And this is where you're actually being proactive immediately and now, right? Being proactive immediately and now, because there are certain things that can be done now. Another thing which can be done now is number one. Right? There's an organization which is called MMA, Self-Defense for the Non-Disabled Deaf and Disabled Young People. And I'm going to put that in the body, just as I did last night. I'll put it right here. Ladies and gentlemen, please, it'd be great if you can share this. Share this video as much as possible. There I put the figure. I put up the details of it. MRAP. That is what it's called. MRAP. Christine Giscombe, Pauline, Christy, Carl, Emming, Paul Brown, Janet Spence, Omar. Hey, how are you? Stanley and Stephen. And so, how are you? Wonderful. So I put up this organization which is called MRAP, Mixed Martial Arts of Reform and Progression. Is a community interest company limited by guarantee, committed to supporting, training and mentoring young people and using mixed martial arts as a tool to make a positive contribution to developing essential skills, including health and nutrition, careers, education, and financial responsibility. That's MRAP. And it's a reform and progress element towards success. One of the things that I recognize with most of the organization, it talks about empowering, and it talks about building young people, giving them sort of level of initiative and being empowering them. That's the key thing, empowering them at the same time. And this one is not focused just on them boy, but upon young people. And that is also crucial. The next one, because I'm going to run through 13 tonight, is Road CEO, which is business acumen and social skills for young black men guiding a new generation gang. More information is going to come out of that. But at the same time, Road CEO is also becoming a sort of body that's sort of like an overseen arch that build up the banks in a way that others can operate with. This is chaired by Dino Coy. I will put up his video where I had a fantastic discussion with him, and you'll be able to see more about that. And another time when I go through the series of the different persons coming on, I'll slot also Dino Coy in and representatives of Guiding a New Generation Gang. Now, when you hear the word gang, Guiding a New Generation, are you going to hear gang? I say gang. Isn't that negative or so? Gang. But let's deal with this now, right now. You see, words are used, and it is coined in a certain way to bring forth negative things. Because just because gang is maybe deemed to be as something bad, but gang didn't start it off as something bad initially as so possible. So what was, they have changed it by saying guiding a new generation. Think about it. Guiding a new generation, ladies and gentlemen. Guiding a new generation. That's what gang is. Now that's changing the narrative. That's it, taking it, grabbing all of it, and changing the game. It's like my latest Don't Go With The Flow series, the one which I keep pushing because it means so much about people painting you, people painting the situation. Well, and what they're painting is not really true. What they're painting is not really the fact. And I use this example, which is a very key one, in a court of law, whereby one is charged for something and one is innocent, for argument's sake. Many people have been charged for things and they're innocent. And in the process of that, the counsel, the barrister, they are actually painting as, I put it to you that you are, I put it to you that you are this, I put it to you that you are this, I put it to you. And then you say, no, and you're grimacing pain, and you say, nah, that's not me. But what they're doing, they're painting an image for the judge, painting an image for the juror, for them to actually make a final conclusion. So therefore, the other barrister now, I've got to paint something again. So therefore, that is your power now where you've got to paint yourself. So that barrister now will come back and start to paint you. Paint the different picture, the one that they want to put up there to be framed. And it's even in personal situations sometimes. One has got to repaint the painting which is out there because they are fake frames of yourselves or of situations which is up there on the wall where many people walk past and say, that's the state of the black community. And then another person will say, hang on a second, that's not right. That's not from my perspective. I need to repaint that. So you've got to go into that process of repainting it. That's the situation of that particular person. And that person, that's not me, but that's a perception they have of me. So therefore, I need to repaint that. So you start to paint, and then you create your own Picasso. I use the word Picasso because that is seen as authentic. I use that as the top of the line because when something is Picasso, it is authentic or something like that. One can even go and say something of an African era. Because as you know, many artifacts was taken from Africa, whereby they're original, they're unique. So maybe I should change the game and move away from Picasso and find something which is authentic from Africa to use as the temple, the standard, if anything. So this is what is happening. So guiding a new generation is a typical example, GANG, of changing the status quo and the name gang into something positive, taking the initiative, ladies and gentlemen. Westside Young Leaders Academy. And this one is instilling the talents of success in our leaders at an early age. Now, if you remember, I said that it seems like there can be, and it seems to be like there is some sort of overlapping which is going on. And I said, nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with overlapping. Nothing is wrong with two persons have a similar vision. Nothing is wrong with that because every person somewhat have a different angle of how they deliver something, right? And Westside Young Leaders Academy, and if you can go on the website, as I said, the website all sets it out. I just posted it a while ago. We at the Westside Young Leaders Academy, WYLA, have a dedicated team who are passionate about producing successful men who understand that they are born to be great. Listen to that. I have a dedicated team of who are passionate about producing successful men who understand that they are born to be great. Listen to the wording right there. Producing successful men who are born to be great. So you see this? And listen to this. Words are powerful. I like words, ladies and gentlemen. If you know me, I like playing with words. They're born great, right? And they're already successful men. And all they're doing at WYLA is ensuring that it becomes a reality. That's all. We provide a range of classes and opportunities designed to bring out this greatness. We sincerely believe that every young person matters, and with the right support, they can achieve and live their dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Thank you for joining. And also at the same time, please share this video because this is coming from a different angle. Okay? Share this video. Let some parents, let some people know. Dina Carr said there are 2 million of us. We need a lot more than 2 of us replicating. Indeed. Indeed. And indeed. WYLA is made up of young African Caribbean boys from 8 to 18 years of age who attend inner city schools and are faced with adult challenges earlier in life than expected. The goals of WYLA are to instill the tenets of success in our leaders at an early age, creating an awareness and understanding of the opportunities that exist for their lives. The academy provides consistent motivation to encouraging participants to stay focused and to pursue those opportunities with passion. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you WYLA UK, Westside Young Leaders. That's another organization which is out there. And so while we're talking about WYLA UK, Westside, we also have Southside Young Leaders Academy. This is powerful. This is actually taking control of the East, the West, the North, and the South. And this, I fully endorse it. Yes? Awesome, Dean. Fully endorse. Where your son has attended, Andrew and Leo Mohammed, along with others, are doing sterling work. There we are. Well, SYLLA.org. Okay, I haven't seen that domain right there. But what it says, Southside Young Leaders Academy. Personal development, teamwork, and skill training to inspire boys to be agents of change in their own life. Someone on Instagram said, please, when you meet these groups, facilitate a conversation amongst them and a linking up. Leslie, yes, that is correct. And that is something which I plan to do. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who are just coming, the plan is, what I'm doing now is just simply giving a little headline of these different organizations. The next step, and what is being done at present, is organizing a time where I can have a direct conversation with the persons who are the facilitators and the leaders of this organization. And the point about linking them up, that's already in process through the Road CEO, where I'm going to have Dina Coy come back again and talk about it. I'm going to post the interview that I did with Dina Coy for those who understand. Because I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, now this is something very important. It's something I have to really make clear. Because sometimes, in the past, when these sort of issues come up and you actually reach out to people, sometimes persons are not really interested. I've seen situations whereby persons in the UK who are out there on social media don't even know what is happening and take a sort of blase look at the whole process. Some say it's too negative, so they turn off the news. So they don't want to focus on these things. They don't want to get their hands dirty on these things. I've been talking about this thing for years. Persons out there, Dina knows, I've been talking about these things for years. So it is not as if to say they are prompted to act now. They have been prompted from before. Organizations like these have out there been prompted, but somewhat they're not getting the support and not getting the sort of exposure. So therefore, what I'm doing as being a part of a solution is to somewhat be a part of the exposure, be a part of the process of change. And I encourage each person, every person who is on, to look at one of these organizations and to see how you can support it, maybe by giving your services, volunteer, maybe by giving a donation. You choose to see which one actually resonates with yourself. Because I know at times persons will move and be proactive as to what is happening now. But when things relax and when things are okay for a bit, then everybody just relax. And that's the time when you intensify. You intensify when things relax. It's like when you're looking for a job. Sometimes the best time to look for a job is when you're in a job and things are going okay. Now that's when you intensify. You don't wait until the pressure comes on you. You intensify that. The next one is Eastside Academy. Eastside Young Leaders Academy. That's another one there. To enable students, especially BME boys, to do well at school and go on to become transformational leaders and global citizens. Right? EYLA exists to nurture and develop the leadership potential of young African and Caribbean males, empowering them to become the next generation of successful leaders, cornering the market completely. Many parts in life are determined by the influence and inspiration of the learning environment. EYLA is such a place. We have created a zone of magical realism, channeling energy and ambition into productive pursuits, unlocking the true potential in each child. We work with our partners and parents to motivate and encourage students to go beyond their personal best. We run weekly workshops, seminars utilizing our own unique bespoke leadership curriculum built on 7 core competencies. And as Leslie says on Instagram, definitely very concerned. In fact, I've been concerned for a very long time. So you see, a lot of people are concerned, as my sister said there. Many people have been concerned a long time. Now I present to you the tools in your hands that you can use. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Late One with SYLBOURNE. And my topic tonight is looking at the organizations which are out there, which can use to successfully support your child and to deal with some of the scourge of what is happening and changing the narrative. I spoke about yesterday 10 organizations, 100 Black Men of London, the Amos Bursary, Generating Genius, the Goodwin Lawson Foundation, Sickle Cell Society, Stephen Lawrence Charitable Trust. I think there's a movie coming out with Stephen Lawrence about the death or the murder that changed a nation. Urban Synergy, the Reach Society, Manhood Academy, Origin Rites of Passage, MMA Self-Defense, MRAP, Road CEO, West Side Leadership, Young Leaders Academy, South Side Young Leaders Academy, East Side Young Leaders Academy. So there's so much so far. And I'm now going to number 16, ladies and gentlemen. Right? And number 16 is, actually, I just realized that I missed one. It's actually 24, actually, to be honest. National Association of Black Supplementary Schools. Right? National Association of Black Supplementary Schools. That's another one which is out there. Let me see if I can put this one up. Let me see here. Hey, Ayola, how are you? Good. Yeah, this one here. National Association of Black Supplementary School. This is the next one here, which I just posted up there, ladies and gentlemen. This is one that you can tap. It's NABSS. Welcome. The website is there. You can look at it for yourself. There's some clips there. You can tap into it, and there's numbers there as well. One of the things that we've got to make sure with some of these sites is to make sure that it is also one can actually read onto it right away. So we can see whereby one can actually develop on some of these sites as well from a community perspective. But we've got NABSS organization, which is out there as one of the tools in your hands that you can use. A resource center for supplementary schooling for Black children, advice and services for parent and school. And I just put a note here to speak to them to make website user friendly. Yeah. See, that's what we do as well. Yeah, because and it's a part of the process. If I find that maybe it's difficult to understand something, therefore what I should do is also share that. That's the most important thing. Sharing is caring, building up each other. And number 17 is, my God, it's more than the figures that I thought it was. Actually, I miscounted. I think it's about 25 organizations. Black Families Education Support Group, right? And I believe one of the things that is also needed to catch up all different areas, you've got also families, you've got mothers also who are struggling and need that help as much as possible. And this organization, which I just posted now, is Black Families Home. Yeah? Black Families Home. Black Families Education Support Group. I'm learning them myself, just to let you know. I'm actually learning them myself, but it's like a learning curve. So I'm learning it with you as much as possible to see the wealth of information which is out there that we can tap into. We are pleased to announce that we have successfully achieved the renewal of our approved provider standard for safe and effective practice and mentoring. About them, our supplementary school has been awarded the nationally recognized quality framework for supplementary school bronze. So Black Family Support Group, which is one organization which is out there. And then you got Super Academy, Super U Academy, training to unlock the potential of young people of all ages. That is another one there, which you can actually tap into. Let me post that one as I speak. Here we go. And you can actually look at it for yourself. There we go. I tell you, this is powerful. Feel like you're in school. Feel like in a classroom. And, teaching. So we've got to teach each other. I'm teaching myself while I'm learning and while I'm sharing. Sharing is caring. I said to you, and I said it before. I say when you sort of give, you'll be surprised how you get so much back. The more you give, the more you get back, as much as possible. So you've got the Super You Academy, which is out there as well, to empower. And the goal of this is our core belief: a child is never the behavior. The belief helps our young people to be more responsible and encourages them to be more self-aware about their current situations. Give them the opportunity to find alternative ways to produce new set of attainable outcomes that will assist in making exclusion more enjoyable. Junior, how are you? Awesome. Our mission is to inform, enable, and inspire young people to be motivated into making the correct choices and decisions throughout their schooling and into their adult life. We've got the tools in our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Share it. Let people know the tools are here. Information is there to our disposal as much as possible. We have no reason to say we can't. We have all the reason to say we can. We do not have to wait for the government. But at the same time, we need to tap into the government. We don't have to wait for the mayor. But yet at the same time, we need to embarrass the mayor or so like that. Yes, and I agree as much as possible. We need to get the funds from them to build up these areas as much as possible. Definitely, without a doubt. And of course, taking responsibility for ourselves. I believe that's one of the most powerful things that any person can do. Taking responsibility for yourself. Taking responsibility for yourself, I believe, is the start of wisdom. As much as possible. Taking responsibility for yourself. Now, did I mention the Super You Academy? I think I did mention the Super You Academy. Let me see if I did that. Yes? Okay, right. So now we tap into sons and daughters. African sons and daughters. Socially, economically, and physically well-being of African community in the UK and worldwide African diaspora. This is an organization, and let me actually post the details of that now for you and all of you. African Sons and Daughters, non-profit organization, right? About us, right? And this is it. African Sons and Daughters is a non-profit organization focused on the needs of members of the African community in the UK and the worldwide African diaspora. Our purpose is to connect like-minded individuals that are committed to establishing social networks with the sole purpose of providing resources and services that improve the well-being of our communities in the UK and the worldwide African diaspora. The mission statement is to promote and encourage the social, economical, and physical well-being of the African community in the UK and worldwide African diaspora. Connect like-minded individuals committed to establishing social networks that are dedicated to providing resources, to have standard rules and policies. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I will be getting on a representative of sons and daughters to come onto the show, and that we can have a discussion with them, what they're about, how they achieve what support they can get as much as possible. The tools are in our hands. If that's the last thing you hear me say today, is that the tools are in our hands. But what we've got to do, we have got to actually use the tools. You got to use what you have. Use what you have as much as possible. That's something I've learned a long time ago. Use what you have. Next one is the Black Child Agenda, tackling the school to prison pipeline. See, everyone have a specialty. Everyone have an angle. Everyone has an area of expertise which they use and which they tap in, right? And what we do, instead of reinventing the wheels, is to actually tap into that present wheel. Aim not to reinvent something, but aim to tap into. Because right now, I sometimes get people calling and saying, I got this vision for doing something. I always say, I will check if there's one out there. I will check if maybe instead of actually starting to lead something, you can come alongside someone and actually help to build them. Because when you build someone, what you're doing, you're actually going to an apprenticeship program. An apprenticeship program whereby you by default is learning the trade. Especially if you haven't done something like it before, but you have a dream to do something. So you go along someone and offer your services. I've learned that. I've learned a lot about volunteering since I came to the UK in 1992 when I stepped off the plane and I became an immigrant. Can you imagine? And I'm still an immigrant in the United Kingdom. Yes, and I'm proud to be an immigrant of this country, right? And as a result of that, with my immigrant mentality, I tend not to wait for things to happen because I've got to make things happen. And as a result of that, I have been making things happen instead of waiting for someone to make it happen for me. I think that's a mentality, which is something that I'll encourage and implore yourselves to do. There's no end to the talent of Cheryl Phoenix. She's the person who is in charge of this program here, which is the Black Child Agenda, and it is one which is out there. Black Child Agenda is committed to challenging the school to prison pipeline, a disturbing national trend wherein children are funneled out of public schools and onto the juvenile and criminal justice systems. Many of these children have special education need. Said, listen, I have all the time for this. I have all the time for this to do these discussions, 2 or 3 a week, for the next 6 weeks, for the rest of my life, to do a section whereby talking about these different organizations which is out there, which we can use as much as possible to actually strengthen the community, strengthen the black community, building up those banks as much as possible. And so this is another group which is out there which can be used, the Black Child Agenda. Looking forward to get Cheryl Phoenix on to actually having a discussion live on that topic as much as possible, right? 21 now is ultra education, ensuring that all children have access to essential entrepreneurial education. I think many of us now as adults, sometimes we look back now and said, boy, it's a pity that we didn't have this sort of education when we were growing up about entrepreneur and all those sort of things. Well, ultra education provides such. And I just posted, hey, Maxie, how are you, everybody? Ultra education provides such sort of support, which is out there as much as possible. And it says children and young people, regardless of background. Let me see, about our mission is here. Let me see if I can find the mission. And this is run by Julian Hall. Julian Hall has been on the show already, directly on the Red Chair. I can post up his video as well. You can go on to SYLBOURNE TV on YouTube, and you can find out more about Julian Hall. The vision is that all children and young people, regardless of background or social standing, have access to essential entrepreneurial education to be the leading brand, the number one provide of, entrepreneur education in the world. Products and services, school programs, community programs, after school and weekend clubs, kids business fairs, kid business awards, online program. I could say much more. We seek success for children and young people. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you as well Ultra Education, and I will be having Julian Hall coming on board on a Facebook Live as well, even though I've interviewed him already on the Red Chair as well, but we're going to get him on as well to actually talk more about that, because things are always developing with that. Number 22, the Black and African Asian Therapy Network. I know some people actually, when this was put out there as part of the list, they were saying they don't like because of the Asian terminology in it or so like that. But I'm just a messenger, and I'm just sharing the information which I have, and we can use it to our best of our knowledge, or we can not use it to the best of our knowledge. So I put it out there, the Black African and Asian Therapy Network, www.batn.org.uk, and what it is about: inspiring people of African, Asian, and Caribbean heritage to proactively engage with their psychological lives. So this is coming from a psychological perspective. And the founder and director is Eugene Ellis. We are the UK's largest independent organization to specialize in Working psychologically with Black, African, and Asian Caribbean people, the goal is individual and collective processes of our inner experiences. Much more to that, ladies and gentlemen. You can check out the Black and African Asian Network. And therefore, I go on to number 23, which is, and I'm going to run through this very quickly because I don't want to do another program reviewing them. Next program I want to do is to tap into one of the representatives of the organization, father to father, right? Father to father. Now, this one is very crucial just by the namesake of it. Hi, Tracy. Father to father. I just posted it up there. Father to father is very important. Ladies and gentlemen, please share this video. It's important to share these videos. You know, it's important to share. I have to say this again. It's important that we share these videos, share this information as much as possible with others. I don't know if this has been frozen. I see like something has been interrupted, but I'll just keep talking. Let me know if there's I never freeze. If you saw it freeze, it wasn't me, because I never freeze. Okay? I never freeze. Father to father.co.uk. Ladies and gentlemen, that's another one here. Mission is to increase the proportion of children growing up with involved, responsible father and male role models. We achieve this by supporting and providing adolescent boys, fathers and their families with mentorship, information, advice and guidance that will enhance their personal, social and economic well-being. We engage fathers and listen to their needs and provide support, training and awareness. I am a father. Many of us are fathers, and we know the challenges as a father. But you know, one of the things, exciting thing about father is actually ensuring that each day that you monitor your children, you be a part of their training. You're the tool. You're the tool that God has given to them. And you've got to utilize that tool to actually train them, nurture them, navigate them into the right path. Even though the school may do what they do, but then you actually make sure that they are aligned. And if they are out aligned or going off course, you realign them. That's important, ladies and gentlemen, especially fathers. It's important, you know. And so I like this father to father mentoring. Mentoring is the best way to unlock a person's potential and improve their chance of success. I also believe that, and I don't know if there's an organization, and if there's one out there, let me know. If there's an organization out there that seeks to re-engage fathers with their sons or fathers with their daughters, you know, because they can be a divorce situation where they are separated. There could be a situation where the mother is being very vindictive or bad and making it difficult when they, whatever, or even the father or whatever like that. And there become some DV issues and the children separate. The children separate from their father. So therefore, the son growing up, missing the father or so, and peed off by the father because the father is not coming back. When the father wants to come back, and the father not being able to come back because he's being stopped for whatever reasons, injunction, whatever like that. But there comes to a point whereby he's pining, father is pining, son is pining, but there's anger there at the same time. Is there an organization that re-engage the fathers with their sons? You know? I saw a video, Father Awake. You may know a video, and that is a video that spurred me on to think about it. An organization or work which is being done specifically targeted, because it will have to have a lot of psychological input to engage fathers with their children, right? So that is one which is very crucial. I'm going to run along very quickly to hi Yolanda, how are you? Sanche, hey, how are you doing? Awesome. The Gentleman's Network. I like this one. Anything with a gentleman network, opening the door for ladies, walking on the outside as much as possible. Many years ago, I remember growing up in Jamaica, and we were going to, I think it was lunch or so with a few of us guys, about 3 guys, and this was in Jamaica. And a boss was driving, and there's a lady at the corner which is trying to change her car. There's no AA or RAC or so in Jamaica. Maybe they might be having something of that similar nature now, but in 1990, there wasn't anything like that. So my boss stopped the car on the sidewalk and said, "Go guys, go and make your name. go and be gentlemen. And he sat in the car, and then he came out after and said, I hope they did a good job. And she said, thank you. She didn't even thank us, you know what I mean? But what he was teaching us was that go out there and be gentlemen. There's a lady in distress, go and help her. And that's what we learn. Because, you see, you have to have men that inspires young men how to be them. So what is that? Men are actually training men into themselves as well, to be good stewardship of their society, of their home, of their partners or whatever like that. We're not all perfect. None of us are perfect. We have our frailties or so. We slip and slide and so like that. But to always come back and align ourselves. So I like this one. Well, I like all of them. Well, I'm going to be like Brucey. Yeah. I'll be like Brucey and say, you're all my favorite. You know, Leslie, please post that list on your Facebook page. Yeah, the list is there, but I'm going to repost it again as much as possible. And also, on Instagram, you're not able to get to see these things because, I'll repost them actually. Actually, I'm going to get them to go on my website as well. The Gentleman Network is an organization for the male community, inspiring and supporting males through the transition from boy to man to gentleman. I like that. Boy to man to gentleman. Because you got men who are out there by virtue of their gender or just man, but they're not gentlemen, you know? We aim to challenge the stereotypes surrounding young black ethnic minorities whilst raising aspiration and identifying those excelling beyond their potential. Guys, this is fantastic, you know. This is really fantastic. We believe the demand for more recognition and male role models in our community has grown over the years. Although this is listen to this. Although this is a man's world, we believe male also need a support system for their development in all aspects of life. Pew, pew, pew. Consider, ladies, a man's world. Come on. This is not James Brown. This is a man's world. Doom, 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 you know. It's a man's world, you know. But it'd be nothing. Listen to this. Nothing without a woman's touch or a woman's charm. So yes, it can be a man's world, but it'd be nothing without a woman's touch. So anyhow, James Brown lined it and realigned it. It's a thorough campaign and initiative. We hope to create a support network for those wanting to be successful in life, recognizing their achievements and encouraging a broader relationships between them, especially those that may not have positive male influence within their immediate framework. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Gentleman Network. Send your boys, send your sons to the Gentleman Network as much as possible. And 24, Access UK, a registered charity, employment and career support for minority youth age 16 to 30, particularly African Caribbean community. Ladies and gentlemen, I am posting this one as well. And here you can see it here now. Bingo, here, if I can find it. Let me see. Can't seem to get it posted. Yep, there it is. Access UK. BME Caterers. There we go. And you can check it out. You can all check. You can open up and you can read it while I'm talking. Access UK provides a comprehensive and bespoke career service for marginalized and disadvantaged service users, particularly those from the black and minority ethnic community. You know, ladies and gentlemen, there's one thing I must confess. I hate the word ethnic minority. I trust you. I think when I came to the UK, I found that the first thing when I came off the plane, I was being marginalized, put in categories, all different type of stuff. When growing up in Jamaica, you're just SYLBOURNE, you know what I mean? You know, you're black, there's no issue about that. But coming to the UK, you're being marginalized, you're going to push like you're in the ethnic aisle of Tesco's or Sainsbury's, the ethnic aisle. So I reject that term, black and minority ethnic. But hey, for the purpose of the discussion, I'll say it, you know. But really and truly, we are not minority. Think about that for a second. Labels keep ascribing themselves to us. I say paint your own frame. Paint your own picture. Create your own frame. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Access UK. The information is there. It is one of the tools in our hands that you can use in a way to empower and to help your family and your children if you're finding that you are having some difficulties in dealing with certain issues. There's help out there. It makes no sense to be proud and go down bad. There's help out there for yourself, for your family, as much as possible. And I work in the social service situation. I work as a lawyer. And I've been in care proceedings a lot, in different cases, taking cases to court, and been in the process of removing children or domestic abuse and stuff like that. Yes, families, as a result of that, have some issues there. But I tell you, and I kid you not, I've seen situations where parents sometimes actually hand over their children to social service for a period of time because they're having difficulties. And I've seen whereby it turns out very well, whereby after they're getting some support, they may have anger issues, they may have gaps in parenting, white families, black families, and by the work of social services and having parenting assessment and PAMS assessment and training or so like that, it turns out well, and you smile, because just winning a case of removing a child, it's not really a win. Yeah, you win. Oh, yeah, we got the care order. We got the ICU. Fantastic. The judge was pleased by my submission and stuff like that. It's not really a success to a certain extent, but it's a process. And I've seen successful situations as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't actually 24. It was actually 25. 25 organizations which I reeled off between yesterday and today. And the next phase would be to organize to get some of the facilitators and the leaders of these organizations to come on board and to somehow share their thoughts as to the whole thing in regards to that. So without further ado, it's Sunday night, back to the grind tomorrow. And I wish you all the best, and look out for your boys, look out for your girls, look where they are. Have a chat with them. Sit down. Do their homework with them as much as possible. Don't do their homework, but I think I gave my son an answer tonight. I said to him, I shouldn't have given his answer. But I've got some papers to mark for my son. I'm gonna get onto his SAT very soon, so got to mark those papers. Got to be proactive. The midnight lamp has got to work as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, thank you for joining tonight. Remember to tune into the SYLBOURNE Show. You can find me on YouTube. Every single Facebook Live which I do, I download it and I put it on YouTube for those who are not on Facebook. And on Instagram, you're seeing a part of it. Instagram, for those on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, SYLBOURNE TV or SYLBOURNE Serial. There's hardly any space, any time for any more friends. But I've got an overflow page as well. And I've got the profile page. In order to actually see these interviews, because on Instagram, you won't be able to see these direct interviews with the persons or the discussion. You will have to come on to the Facebook and follow that as much as possible. I'm going to stream it as well on YouTube very soon as well, but getting all of that in place. As I said, we've got to create our own destiny. We've got to create our own media. We've got to utilize. We've got to change the narrative. We've got to take control. And if you notice, I'm not talking about any knife stabbing or knife killing tonight. All I've been talking about is what is out there, what is in existence, and what can be used to empower our people and to empower us and to build ourselves as much as possible. We can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Wakanda, power to the people. Without further ado, I bid you good night. May the God bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you and may give you peace. Laura Robinson, you just came. You got to go in the naughty corner. Anybody who's come now, you just go in the naughty corner and say, I will not be late. I'll not be late. I'll not be late. Sharika Green, you missed it by Yolanda Sanchia, Councillor Valerie Taylor, Dion Green, and all the other persons who are here. Maxi Hills, thank you. Guys, please share this video. And on Instagram as well, please share this video. Neela Inerti, you've been on the naughty corner. You just came in. You got to watch it on replay. As a matter of fact, you'll have to go and stand in the naughty corner because you're late. Instagram land, you're going to sign off now. Good night. Cheers. As well, Instagram just signed off. Yep. And here we go. And Facebook, all the best. Good night.